Inside and outside corners. Outside corners. First, mark the roof kit EPDM rubber membrane 3 inches to indicate the watertight overlap and measure the height and width of the corner area. Measure and cut a piece of EPDM membrane according to the height and width you just measured for the outside corner. Make sure you add 3 inches to the height of your measurement to allow for the watertight seaming area. You will also need to make a 3-inch cut where the membrane will fold around the corner. Before any adhesive is applied, position the membrane you just cut against the outside corner to make sure that it is properly measured. Next, apply roof kit EPDM multipurpose adhesive to the EPDM membrane, as shown here. Be careful not to place adhesive on the 3-inch area you marked previously. Now apply multipurpose adhesive to the wall. Allow the adhesive to dry to the touch on both the membrane and wall. Adhere the membrane to the wall surface, aligning the corner first. Use a seam roller on the wall to secure the membrane. Next, mark the edges of the flaps so you will know where to apply the adhesive. Apply roof kit EPDM multipurpose adhesive to both the inside of the flap and the wall, using the marks made in the previous step as a guide. Allow the adhesive to dry to the touch. Carefully press the flaps onto the wall and use a seam roller to ensure good contact. Now, apply multipurpose adhesive to the EPDM surface you previously marked, as well as the underside of the corner flap, as shown here. Allow the adhesive to dry to the touch. Use a dull object to press the EPDM corner flap tight into the crease, and then roll out the remaining flap with a seam roller to secure. Next, place a roof kit EPDM 8-inch corner cover over the outside corner and mark around the edges. Use roof kit EPDM seam primer to scrub inside the area you marked where the corner will be placed. It is very important to let the primer thoroughly dry to the touch before applying the corner patch to avoid blistering. You will have up to 1 hour after drying to apply the corner patch. Once the primer has dried, peel 1/4 of the release paper of the corner patch off and secure on one side of the corner, using a blunt object to create a defined crease, and then roll with a seam roller. Remove the next 1/4 of the release paper and adhere it to the other side of the wall using a seam roller. Remove the bottom half of the release paper and then work the corner patch down, starting in the middle. Again, use a seam roller. Apply roof kit EPDM rubber caulk around the corner patch and then use a scrap piece of paper to smooth the caulk to finish. Inside corners. Measure and mark 3 inches out from the inside corner. Then measure the length and height of the corner to determine the amount of EPDM rubber needed to cover the inside corner. Cut the membrane to the length and height you just measured. You will need to cut a slit where the membrane will fold into the corner. Before continuing, place the membrane you just cut in the corner, making certain it fits properly. Mark the edges of the overlapping flaps on the wall and roof surface using flap edges as guides. Next, apply roof kit EPDM multipurpose adhesive to the back of the membrane and to the inside corner walls. Allow the adhesive on the membrane and wall to dry to the touch. When the adhesive is dry, fold in the flaps of the membrane with no adhesive, as shown here. Next, place the membrane in the corner, starting from the bottom and working up. Apply adhesive to both the inside of the vertical flap and the wall, using the marks made in the previous step as a guide. Allow the adhesive to dry to the touch. Apply pressure in the corner with a blunt object, then carefully press the flap onto the wall and use a seam roller to ensure good contact. Using the same process, apply the adhesive to the roof base and bottom of the flap. Allow the adhesive to dry to the touch And secure the membrane with a blunt object and seam roller as shown here. Next, you will need to place a roof kit 8-inch corner cover on the inside corner. Scrub roof kit seam primer in the area where the corner patch will be placed. Remember to let the primer thoroughly dry to the touch before applying the corner patch. Fold the corner patch into fourths, peel back 1/4 of the release paper, and apply to one of the inside walls. Then pull the next fourth of the release paper back and apply it to the opposite side of the corner. Use a blunt edge to create a crease, and then use a seam roller to secure. Next, remove a bottom fourth of the corner patch release paper and carefully work it down to the roof surface until you create a flap. Use a seam roller on the previously mated areas. Carefully remove the remaining release paper from the flap and press the flap up on one of the walls of the corner. Use a seam roller to flatten the flap against the wall. Then, use roof kit EPDM caulk around the edges of the EPDM membrane, the edges of the corner patch, and the flap you just created. And use a scrap piece of paper to smooth the caulk.